Hi. So I want to show you a little bit about grading in Schoology, a few things I've learned along the way this year. There's kind of two ways to do it. You can grade it in the actual assignment, and that's where you can actually view them and grade them a bunch at once. And you can see here on the reminders, it'll usually tell you for each class what you need to do. I have a resubmitted assignment right here I need to grade. But today I want to focus a little bit on the grade book. Over here on the left, you can click grade book, and that will take you to all the students with all their grades. And there's a little bit of navigating through that. Once you get long into the semester, later in the semester, it's does show a lot, obviously, because you should have a lot of grades. And so it's kind of cumbersome, but there's some things that help in here to kind of focus on what you need to see. So here's my students with all their grades, and you can see I have orange hexagons. Those are all missing assignments that I have marked as 0. And anything that has a little blue icon means they have submitted something. And then if there's a comment box or little bubble like here, and you can see in this assignment I put bubbles. If I click on that bubble, it will tell me what I said to them. Like this one, I told them a little bit more that they needed to do in their journal. This person, I said, just made comments. I said, awesome, you earned a badge, because I do Schoology badges. So these are my comments, and they're easily, you can click those. Okay, so up here for each assignment, you can click the 3 dots and get some more options here. This is where I turned all those orange hexagons. I had to kind of click that to make those show up. Those don't happen automatically. So if I've already graded an assignment in the assignments of Schoology and there's a lot of missing assignments, then I go to gradebook and pretend these orange circles and zeros are not there. They're just blank. They don't show an attachment because the student didn't turn anything in. They're showing as ungraded, but they're not averaged into the PowerSchool or Schoology yet. And I want them to have a point of 0 and show that it's missing, so a student gets an alert to know they need to turn that in. So to do that, I click the 3 dots on the assignment, and I click this one here called Mark Empty Cells Missing. And that will make the orange hexagon and the 0 show up, and it will also give an alert to the student. And when you sync to PowerSchool, it will show that as well. So this one, 3 dots, Mark Empty Cells Missing, is very important. However, when you do that, it's great in that it keeps your grades updated, but to go back and grade submitted work, you can't do it here. You have to go back in through your assignment by clicking here and grading things that have been turned in, because it's already looks like it's been graded here. Another thing, let's see if I could see an example here. Like, for example, this is a new assignment that hasn't been turned in yet. It's for next week. And I would click this 3 dots, and here's where I would hit that Mark Empty Cells Missing, and then that would show up for that whole entire column with a 0 and an orange hexagon. But I'm not going to do that now. And let's see. And a lot of times the students, it does give them an alert, so it's very handy. You can see, and every once in a while, the computer just does this, and it takes me back to my homepage, and I wasn't even touching anything. So be careful with, I guess, your mouse. So let's go back. I'm going to show you where that one was resubmitted. And it's thinking because there's a lot of grades in here. So I'm going to scroll over here. And I saw a resubmitted, or somebody turned something in after I'd already graded at 0 right here. This one here, let's see if I can find it. Well, these right here have an assignment turned in, but they already have a 0. I'm not allowed to change that here. I could if it didn't already have the 0, but I know they turned it in, so I can click it here to see it. And now it takes me to the assignment, and I can give it a grade. So this kid just noticed that he got a 0 and it's missing, and so he turned it in. And so that is helpful. It really is important to click that make all missing blanks missing and 0, because it changes their grade and they see that. And so here's his grade. We're on kind of a block schedule, so they don't have to do as much. But over here, you can see he did this arrow down, and there's 2 pictures here. He has a double page backside planner. So I click on the other one to check the other page. So here you can see It doesn't really tell you, but there's an arrow to see if there's two different submissions or images. And there's his other page. And it says here, missing right now, it has the orange hexagon, and there's his other days for that. So now I can give him a grade. He didn't have some of these other classes that day because of block scheduling. I'll give him 25 points. I must hit submit. And now I'll close this out. Takes me back to gradebook because I came to it originally from gradebook by just clicking that little blue attachment icon. And now I got to figure out where I was. That was this student here, somewhere in here, and now it gave him the points. I think it was this one, and it took away the 0 or the orange hexagon. Okay, so the other thing I'd like to show you is if you're grading a blog, those are graded differently. So some of these assignments are blogs. Like here's a blog. Let's see if anybody turned this in since I graded. It doesn't look like it in this class. But you can see all these here have not submitted their blog. Trying to find one that has submitted it that wasn't graded, because those are graded differently if it's a blog. Here's, well, let's do this. I need to go to view, and I can click down here, needs grading, but it doesn't, I don't have anything that needs graded. Not submitted, these are all of the orange hexagons, 121 not submitted assignments for this class so far this semester. Grades with new submission, this is the one where you can find, oh, they realized they haven't done it, now they turned it in, so I'll grade those now. So they'll highlight for me, and you can see where they're at. Get my mouse off of the columns here. So you can tell it's a new submission because I've already given it a 0 and it says it's missing, but now they have an attachment. Problem is I can't click this here to put a grade in. I have to go into the assignment to grade them. So to me, it only lets me do one at a time, and then it takes me back to this page. So to me, it's easier for me to just say, oh, I've got like one, do I have any others that hour? No, or that for that assignment. So I only have to do it for the one. You can kind of keep track of what assignments they are, and scroll through, and you can hear some more. These are pretty early, but they've done it recently, turned it in. These were earlier in the semester, but I'm not allowed to grade it here. But notice how sometimes I'm allowed to if it's not, like here, I could change that grade right there. It lets me change it, but only ones that have numbers. It won't let you put a grade in for one that's already 0. Okay, so like I said, under view, you can mark excused, mark incomplete, marked missing. I have 147 marked missing, which is the same as not submitted. Similar, I'm not sure why there's a different number there. Needs grading, and then this is the one that's really helpful because that shows you what's new, but it highlights it for you so you're not scrolling through this whole spreadsheet trying to see all these. It's way too much to look at. Now, here is another option, because this gets cumbersome if you're one who does a lot of grades with a lot of students, and at the end of the semester, this is going to look crazy. So there is another option here. It puts a little bit more pressure on the students. You could, of course, still could do it this way, but I have created, I'm going to go to a different screen now, a Google form. And in this Google form, I haven't started this yet, but I think I might start it fresh next year. If a student has to turn in the late work and they already have gotten the warning that it's, missing and a 0, they have to fill out this form in order to go, tell me that I need to go grade the assignment. So I have submission for avid missing work. I need to know their first and last name. I need to know what hour they're in. And this one here is the important part. I made an assignment link, and it's a short answer in a Google form. But if you click, and down here, I'll come back to that, but real quick, I also wanted him to put the assignment title and any comments, like I was absent that day, or I finally got my act together and turned this project in. Sorry it's so late. They could make a comment there. And I made that one optional, but I made all the others required. But this one here, if you click under assignment link and you click the 3 dots and you click, I have a description here because I wanted to tell them how to copy the link and turn it in. So I have that in the description. You could also put a video in and show yourself giving a video on how to do it and show your screen and put that up at the front of this form. But this one here, response validation is clicked on. I'm going to click it off here and show you what it looks like normally. But now I'm going to go back. I'm going to click this. I'm going to click response validation with a check mark, and it gives me choices here under the short answer. I don't want it to be a number. I need it to be a text. They need to write like words. You can also have a certain length. Like if say you want to, this is beside the point, but I love this. If you want somebody to write a good strong paragraph and it needs to be 5 lines long, you can click that. But anyway, for this, I'm going to say text, and then contains. Here, I need it to have a URL, and it needs to be a good link. It won't work. It will not submit this whole form if it does not have a URL on this line. It might look like a URL and they thought they did it right, but if something's missing or incorrect, it will not take it if it's not a link. You could also do something like an email address or other things. But so I click URL. So when they paste their URL here, it has to be a URL or it will not send. So this is how I get that to work. Then the great part about this is I can go up here to responses. Now I haven't done this yet. This is not live, but if I went to responses and I click this, it will give me a Google spreadsheet. And guess what? In the spreadsheet is the link directly to the assignment. So at least it shows you with the title and just what's missing, and you're not seeing all the other things around it. It focuses just on what's missing. And you could reset it. So once you've done with it, you can reset this and start fresh after you've gone through all the ones you get for a week or a day. So I might try this next year. You might consider it. Again, this is a Google form that I use for late. The students have to fill this out to turn in late work. It may not be for you. Of course, you're going to have kids that are not going to fill this out because they're not turning the work in the first place, but it might help navigate through that might get a little bit easier. So I hope this helped a little bit understanding the gradebook in Schoology. There's the sync button to go to PowerSchool. Make sure that when you sync grades, you make sure the titles, oh, I have an error, please reload. Oh, I just have to reload the page. Make sure that your titles match and you have picked your titles that are labeled in PowerSchool. You can't change a name of something after it's already been synced. And I made that mistake one time. It was kind of a mess getting out of that. So once it's been in PowerSchool, do not go back and say, oh, I wish this title said this in it. Don't change it, because then you have to change it in PowerSchool as well, and it will give you an error. But you can see that all my grades have been successfully synced here. You can sync just an individual assignment, just like, oh, I just updated that assignment. I can click here, or I could just click Save Changes. Save Changes does the same thing, and it'll run through everything and catch it all. It just takes a little bit longer. You do not have to stay on the screen. You can toggle off into other screens and it will sync everything, but it'll only sync one class at a time. You'll have to go and click on every class. It's not going to sync your entire gradebook at one time. It's by class. So let me know if you have any questions. Sorry, this is so long, but it is, and I didn't even cover everything. But I hope this gives you a few tips in grading in Schoology. Thanks.